Hi, I'm Brittney King.
And I'm Lisset King, and welcome to Honest Feedback. We are a podcast here for you. We're here to answer any of your questions, anything that's burning inside, any desires. We're here to support you. And this is my lovely wife, Goddess Brittney King, and she is a pleasure priestess. She supports women through embodied movement and sacred ritual so they can deeply connect with their pleasure.
Yes, and my amazing wife, Lisset, is an emotional ninja, aka a trainer and master practitioner of neurolinguistic programming and mental emotional release, which means she can help you get rid of baggage and start living and loving your life of purpose. It's amazing work.
Yeah, and so people reach out to both of us. Typically, they'll call a set and they'll be like, hey, what's going on? What's Brittney got to say about this too? And so we decided to throw a little podcast together to help people together.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what are we talking about today?
Today we're talking about habits. We had a really great question. Someone wrote in an email, which was exciting, and asking about how do we form our habits? How do we create new habits? How do we, break an old habit? And it's just... it's been a lifelong journey with that. Do you want to speak into it a little bit?
Yeah, I feel like habits so many times can just be really unconscious and you don't even know how you got into that pattern. Like I used to be a nail biter, compulsively nail biter. Yeah, you helped me. She did some NLP with me. Did you do a swish?
Yeah, I think that is what we did.
Yeah, swish pattern. Learn about it / get certified before you just start doing things. But I used to be a nail biter and it was a long time habit and I didn't know how to break it. And it was because I also didn't know what the trigger for the behavior was. But so many times we're just running on unconscious patterns. And so sometimes it feels like a real effort to try to steer your ship in the direction that you want to go. What's been your experience with habits?
Well, I used to have a tick very similar to your nail biting where I would pick at my scalp. And it was always like thinking, it was like in deep thought, also did a swish pattern on it. That was what I had done that exercise with. And it went away. And what it was I was feeling doubt and insecurity, and then I would just pick on myself. So every external habit is usually a representation of your internal blockages or something that's going on, as above, so below, as within, so without. So yeah. So it's been incredibly powerful to know that you can actually interrupt that pattern and change the habit. But they've get, everything from how you walk. We've been doing it the same way since we learned,
Yes.
And unless you're taught a certain way, we just go on autopilot with everything. Yeah.
Well, I'm really excited to jump into this question. We have a writer this week. So shall I read?
Yeah, but first, why don't you just go ahead and smash that like button, follow, subscribe, share with a friend. Every time you engage with our show, our community grows. So we really appreciate any support that you can offer in that way.
Yes. All right, let us dive in.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Lotus, pronouns she, her. Lisset and Brittney, thank you so much for the meaningful work you are doing and giving honest feedback to your audience. Thanks, Lotus. You have truly created a safe space to be heard. The last 2 episodes on food and health really resonated with me because I have struggled with my weight for most of my adult life. And I finally asked myself, why? It got me thinking that it's about the habits we create in our lives that have the ability to help us fail or succeed in any area of our lives. So my questions for you are, why do we pick up bad habits? Why do we stick to them when we know they serve us no purpose? Why are they so hard to break? What are the tools we need to be successful in anything we want to accomplish? And finally, please elaborate on the magic that happens when you finally get it and change your bad habits to good habits. Finding out inputs is key. Thank you for all you're doing for your audience. May the care and kindness with which you handle every topic continue to spread healing, peace, love, and happiness throughout the world. Have a blessed day. Lotus. Oh, thank you, Lotus.
God.
Yeah, I'm cheesing.
Love it. That's fantastic. So, Where do we start?
Wow. There's so much in here. I want to start off with, why do we pick up bad habits? And I hear you. There's certain things that we've decided are quote unquote bad habits. But what if nothing was good or bad? It was just a habit. So I would love for us to reframe something as good or bad. And is it a habit that's supporting me with where I want to go? Or is it a habit that's been keeping me where I am, or supporting me where I am? Yeah. Is it supporting me towards where I want to go, or supporting me where I am? So when you think about habits and why you pick them up, like I was a hair puller. Particularly in the back of my head because of stress and anxiety. And it was my habit of self-soothing for myself. So was it quote unquote a bad habit? I would like to say no. Was it a habit that was supporting me where I was? Yes. Was it taking me where I wanted to go? Flowy, healthy, lustrous hair? No, it was not. So I had to get to the root of that pattern, that behavior, that habit, and get to, how do I create something new for myself to soothe myself so it can be in alignment with where I want to go?
Yeah. Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah. Why do we pick up bad habits? I would like to just elaborate on that. Again, I love your reframe of not labeling them as good or bad, or are they, for me, it's like, are they efficient or inefficient? You know, and we pick it up typically as what I was taught is that we pick it up mainly as a coping mechanism. So, you know, it's soothing, it's, you know, thumb sucking, things of that nature. And we just don't break out of it. And so I like to say, thank your unconscious mind for creating a coping mechanism that works. And then another magical thing about your unconscious mind is that it is a loyal servant. It wants to give you what you want. So when the moment that you decide you don't want to do it anymore, that's typically the time that the change starts. It takes the longest time to get ready. And as this caller said, they've struggled with their weight for a long time. And when you hit the point where it's like you're sick and tired, like you may hit that point over and over and over again, but there is a moment where you're like, okay, I'm actually going to do it this time. Yeah. I'm going to make the change. I'm going to create it. So I'm big on like, let's build that rapport with your unconscious mind. Thank it for getting you this far. And you say, hey, I want a better coping mechanism. I want something that's going to support me in who I'm becoming. Something more efficient.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I feel like that definitely answers as well her second question. Why do we stick to them when we know they serve us no purpose? And it's not that they don't serve a purpose. They are absolutely serving a purpose, which is why we have them. It's just perhaps that purpose is not in alignment with what your new purpose and your new goals are. I feel like this is a beautiful time to share your metaphor about the ant.
Yes. I had an old colleague that gave me this metaphor about the unconscious mind and conscious mind, and it made it all make sense for once. So she would say, your conscious mind is an ant, and the ant is deciding, I'm going that way. I'm going toward perfect health. I'm going toward who I'm becoming. And you're marching. That little ant is marching full speed on the back of an elephant. And the elephant is your unconscious mind. And if your unconscious mind is going in the other direction, it does not matter how fast or how hard you're walking. You're not going to get to where you're going. And so it's imperative that, like I said, you build rapport with your unconscious mind. You start to go, oh, shoot, that thing I'm doing is unconscious. First, we need to bring it into consciousness to switch it out and to allow ourselves to change the direction. But when that ant and that elephant are going in the same direction, you're going to get there so much faster.
Yes, 100%, 100%.
Yeah.
Oh, well, why are they so hard to break? I mean, I feel like we're kind of answering all of these together.
Yeah, it is. We're just marrying. The fact that it's a habit needs repetition for it to be installed. And so maybe the first time I scratched my head, it like soothed me. Like there was something about just picking or scratching was making things, it was making me calm down. It was giving me something else to focus on besides my shortcomings.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's, and then it's like, oh, it's soothing me every time. And then it's habit, it's repetition, it's habits, repetition. Habits are everything, like how we think. To try putting your pants on in a different leg tomorrow just to see how like just pause, or hold your toothbrush in a different hand and see how, but why would you?
Seems weird.
But that's just to show you the power of habit. If you've been brushing your teeth, for me, like 41 years, I'm brushing my teeth the same way in the same quadrants. That's not going to stop unless I consciously go, okay, I'm going to do this differently.
Yes. Oh, I feel like this is a wonderful time to bring in an excellent resource, Atomic Habits.
Oh my gosh.
By James Clear.
Game changer.
Have y'all heard of this book?
Yeah.
All right, we're about to break it down, because Lotus asked, what are the tools we need to be successful in anything we want to accomplish? James Clear has wrote us a wonderful outline.
Yeah, highly recommend. Also, his email list is pretty solid. He sends some really good tips all the time. But that book has been a game changer. So what are some great tips that James gives us?
Okay, so he talks about 4 laws of behavior change. And we're going to kind of like dive a little bit into them because he gave us great structure and we each have a little of our own take, a little own sauce on each of these things of how to really implement them.
We've tried them.
Yeah.
We won't share advice on anything we haven't tried.
Yes. Yes. Okay.
So the first law is make it obvious. And making it obvious pretty much is how can we bring it to the forefront? Let's say leaving your gym clothes on a chair ready to hit, so the moment you wake up you see it, or using a habit tracker. So I love this one. I started using Google Task.
Ooh,
big fan of this app.
It's free.
It's free. It's absolutely free. And it syncs up to your email. If you have Gmail, it'll say, would you like to add this as a task? If it sees something coming up, and you just doop, and it adds it to this list. So I was always to-do list everywhere. Like I'd be like, there's a Post-it note, there's a note, this is going to be my notebook for task. And then wait, no, this is going to be my notebook for task. And then every year has a different notebook and nothing's getting done. But with task, I've been able to not only break down my goals, my task in like a long, these are the things I need to make my life function. I have a shorter task list called my daily avatar list. And just to break on that, my avatar is something that I've written that is me in 10 years.
Okay.
And so every morning I read this beingness that I wish to encompass in 10 years. And in reading that person drinks a lot of quality water, gets good rest, works out daily, inspires people, shares her message. So in that, I have these daily tasks, and they include meditating, reading, working out, chanting. That's part of my spiritual practice, so that I'm always just connecting to mind, body, spirit, all the things that make me feel whole before I even get into my work day. So it allows me to go, okay, what's my task? Did I hit all my daily tasks, the things that make me great? And how do I make, so those now become my habits.
Yeah. Making it obvious can be little things depending on what you want your outcome to be. So you mentioned setting out the gym clothes. When we were doing our 30-day yoga challenge, we would at night unroll the yoga mats in the living room. So the first thing we see when you leave the bedroom was, we're doing yoga first thing in the morning. So it sets it up of like, this is obvious. Or he gives a suggestion of like, if you want to read before you go to bed, take your book and put it on your pillow. So when you walk to bed, it is the first thing. It is so obvious. We want to make things easy for ourselves. Number 2 was make it attractive, which means making your desired behavior attractive and enjoyable. So this is something that I, as a pleasure priestess, I am all about making things that feel good. I think I've shared a bit about it, but I have had a weight journey that has been up and down, up and down, up and down. And a lot of it was because I was listening to a lot of other people who were suggesting things that I just didn't like. I have paid for every kind of gym. I have paid for a boxing gym. I have paid, I paid for 2 boxing gyms. One I went to, the other one I literally went to one class. It was so hard, but I felt super embarrassed. So I signed up for a month and never went back. $130. Thank you to you guys. I signed up for like the really cheap gym where I'm like, it's really cheap. Like he'll be okay. I'll just go. Didn't do that. Signed up for the very expensive gym where it was like, oh, do you want a bicycle next to Renee Zellweger? And we have the sauna in the steam room. Did not really go to that, except for I would stand on the elliptical for maybe 5 minutes and then go sit in the steam room. Did not go. But I did all these things because they were, and I wasn't attractive to me. You know what Brittney does not like? The gym. This might change, but hasn't in the past 10 years. I don't like the gym. But you know what I do love? Running outside, taking walks, pole dancing. So I had to find something that was attractive to me that I actually wanted to do. So I would encourage you, if you're trying to create a new habit, it needs to be attractive to you. It doesn't matter what other people say. Does it light you up? My favorite words. Does it make your pussy wet? Are you excited to do it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I have a similar journey with working out and going to the pole studio where we met. Yeah. It was just so, there's beautiful women everywhere dancing. That was attractive to me.
Really?
Yeah, really. And so it made it really easy to work out like 4 or 5 times a week. Yeah. Sometimes 6, 7. Yeah. The next one is make it easy. So breaking down your desired behavior into small, manageable steps.
Yes.
And this looks like, so I'd love for you to speak on this with your Noom journey and the walking, because at first I wasn't about it. And then she invited me.
Yeah. So one of the support tools that I did after I had my breakthrough was I decided to join Noom. And Noom is awesome. It's an app on your phone. This is not sponsored, but Noom, you should be a sponsor here. Yeah. And it's an app on your phone, and each day it had like little exercises. So one of the big goals was walking 10,000 steps a day. But they did not start us with like, okay, so tomorrow, start on that 10,000. It started with today, just take a walk, just like literally like an after dinner walk, like just take an after dinner walk. Then it started breaking it down into smaller steps of like, we're going to hit 1,000 steps today. We're going to hit 2,500 steps a day. And it would incrementally add like a couple hundred more steps each day until eventually we got to 10,000. And it would only add them if you were able to complete and sustain the level of steps you were doing. And so it was this great thing because instead of it being this big, huge goal, I got to take little baby steps towards it. And then I invited my baby to come with me. And so then now it turned into this amazing fun activity where it's like our dogs are so happy. They're like, oh my God, we're walking miles now a day instead of like our normal little like
around the block
until
they poop,
right, kind of thing. But now it's like, oh, especially when it's warm in the summer, we'll go on long walks for hours in the evenings and just like talk and laugh and read books or audio books next to each other as we walk. And,
But breaking it down into those little bite-sized steps. And also, like, for me, it's about reading. Reading is on my daily to-do list, and it's just a few pages. If I open the book and crank 5 pages, and there's other days where I have time where I'm like really loving it and I will knock out 50 pages. But the point is to just go, okay, read.
Yes.
Open the book.
Yes. This brings in also, I want to do a shout out to another practitioner who I worked with, Hillary Mendoza. She's amazing. She is an Ayurveda practitioner, and she has a whole school called Vitality Through the Seasons, and she literally teaches habits. And one of the things that I learned from her was Kaizen. And Kaizen means breaking things down to the smallest, easiest attainable step, because it's really easy to be like, I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to run a marathon. And so then you're like, I got to do 18 things, 18 hard, different things that you've never done before. And then it's really easy to get discouraged and be like, okay, I'm quitting. I don't want to do any of this anymore because I missed one day with this and I missed something with that. So it's really, how do we break this down into the smallest steps so every day could be a win? And then once it's starting to feel like routine, let's add one more step.
Yeah. And the fourth law is to make it satisfying, which just means how can you reward yourself and reinforce yourself to keep doing that habit? So we've been doing this one. I've particularly taken it on because I don't know about y'all, but I end up doom scrolling on social media. Like TikTok it's like crack up in this house. And so it was stealing so much of my time. And one of the things that I had set was I'm not going to have social media on my phone Monday through Friday. And I would open it just one day. So like it was this wonderful reward to not doing it. That the day that I would do it, I'm like, fuck it, I just doom scrolled 3 hours. But that was 3 hours on one day instead of 1 to 2 hours every single day. And that was really incredibly, like, it just felt so, it actually even felt better because first of all, my brain wasn't used to getting the insta dopamine hits.
Yeah.
So I was able to wean myself off of longer form content to be able to sit down and read a book or watch a movie. So that's one of the ways I do it. How do you do that one?
Making things satisfying. I like to connect with my future self. Similarly as what you spoke about with the avatar. And James Clear does speak about this too. It's about creating habits that are identity based as opposed to, I don't know, thing based. So instead of I want to lose 10 pounds, my statement was I am a healthy person. And what would connect me to that is like in moments of choice, which I could reconnect to my statement of I am a healthy person. And it's like, oh, okay, then I think I want to do this thing that's in alignment with that larger goal because it's who I'm becoming. It's my identity because I want to lose 10 pounds. As soon as you get there, it's like, okay, then let's drop all these things. There's no incentive to continue. It's just like, oh, I've arrived somewhere.
Yeah.
And then it's really easy to slide back. And then you get into this process of sliding back and forth of like, I'm arriving, I'm not there. I'm arriving, I'm not there. As opposed to I'm a healthy person is something that is satisfying for me all the time. All the time. And it can apply to so many different things. It's like, I'm a healthy person. I'm going to drink more water. Like, I'm a healthy person. I'm going to stop using single-use plastic. I am a healthy person. Like, it feels different. And connecting to that satisfaction of like, who is it that I wish to be? Who is it that I'm becoming? Who is it in my future that I'm connecting with? And my future self becomes me in the here and now. We start closing that gap where it's not future me, it's present me.
Yeah.
In the quantum field, we're all here at the same time. So,
I loved what you said about that, like that yo-yoing back and forth. And I kind of want to explain a little bit of how that happens.
Yeah.
There's motivation energy, and there's two types of motivation energy. It's away from energy or toward energy. And it's like, are you doing this thing because you want to get away from the opposite of it? Or are you doing this thing because it's important to you? When you say, I am a healthy person, that pulls you toward the vision of being a healthy person. Like my avatar pulls me toward the vision of who I'm becoming. But if your goal is, I don't want to be fat, then all of a sudden, when you deem yourself not fat, or you deem yourself, I don't want to be broke, or like I don't want to struggle about the rent. Then the moment you've made enough money for the rent, your motivation is gone, and you just slide back. Instead of like
been there,
yeah, preach. Instead of being pulled by the vision of I want to be someone who invests. I want to go to Hawaii, 3 times a year. I want to like. Have beautiful furniture in my home. I want to be this person who enjoys the fruits of their labor. Yeah. So it really does support you to have a vision you're being pulled toward instead of I don't want to be like this, or I don't want to be unhealthy. Whenever you tell your unconscious mind, I don't want this, it goes coming right up. Like it doesn't hear the don't, it doesn't hear the not, it doesn't get the negations. So it's important to say, what do you want? And let that be the compass. If you're entering an address on a GPS, you don't go not home. Because that'll take you anywhere, any miles. But if you say, oh, I'm going to Southeast Portland to the farmer's market, the GPS will take you there. That's how your unconscious mind works. Put in the destination and it will get you there.
Yes. Yeah. Wow. So by making your habits obvious, attractive, easy, and satisfying, you can build momentum and create positive changes in your life.
Yeah, this book was invaluable. That is a word, right? Invaluable.
Yeah.
This book is invaluable. I'm here for the rereads. It reminds me constantly what is my identity statement? Who do I want to become? And James, if you're watching this, when you watch this, thank you, brother. You've changed our lives. And I love this question because it really got us to, share the wisdom.
Yeah. And then Lotus says, elaborate on the magic, what happens when you finally get it and change your bad habits to good habits. Okay. So elaborating on the magic that happens when you've changed your habits. Well, I will say for myself, I have released 28 pounds. And so in my physical health journey, that's been huge for myself, of the magic of I used to be in such a different space with the way I felt about my body. And now I feel different. I shop different. Thank you, Ella Murphy. I shop different. I have a different relationship with my body. And this feels sustainable because I've created habits and structures that are empowering, that feel in alignment, and that also work with the ebbs and flows of myself being human. I've been able to create habits that support me in having the things that I want and being the person who I wish to be. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say the magic for me has been our journey around finances.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it just talking about that away from energy was very true for me. I would only be motivated as long as I had to pay the bills or pay the rent or things like that. And something happened, and I can tell you the day it happened. All of a sudden, I was like, "Oh, I'm abundant." It's real. If you have to believe it to see it. And a lot of people say I have to see it to believe it. And it was and it was a very long time of, I believe it, I'm becoming this person. I believe it, I'm saving money. I believe it, I'm investing. I believe it, I'm hustling at my work. I'm increasing my prices to reflect my value. I believe it, I believe it, I believe it. And then all of a sudden it's just wow, I'd made more money than I'd ever made in my business. And then I get to go, okay, what's it look like if I double it?
Double it.
Yeah. And so it's been wonderful. The moment the light switched to I'm believing it and now I see it was just incredibly powerful. So I just want to encourage everyone, all habits can be changed. We just have to bring a little bit of consciousness to it. And and hit a sister up. I can always help you change some habits.
Yes, I do. I was just about to plug NLME. But because for me, it really was once I got to the root of what the baggage was, of where the habits were coming from, and that got cleared, it created the space for me to actually implement some of these things in a really concrete, rooted way. Our journey with finances has been one of them, because the habits I have today with money were not the habits of my past. And even the whole journey of I wasn't explicitly taught anything, but I picked up a lot of implicit messages from fucking everywhere. And a lot of them just were not serving me. But now I'm oh my gosh, look at these savings accounts. Oh my gosh, I have a habit of investing in this. I have a whole account that is just called Give. And I love that I have a Give account for when I wish to give to someone. It's just, and that all came from letting go of the baggage and creating these new habits for myself. So,
And I just want to toss one more thing out into that community. So, yeah, it really, It's very supportive when you start to hang out with people that are sharing a similar vision or similar mission. My family and I are on this text thread. Brittany's on it too.
Yeah, they're my family too now.
Yeah, you're getting to see. They love to text.
I'm here for it.
But everyone is every day just saying, "Hey, I hit this goal, or I'm doing this. How are you? What kind of support do you need?" And it's just like the love that's outpouring. It's just on a day-to-day basis, just knowing that we're all on this journey. We're all like, you know what? We want to be the sexy old people at the beach.
Yeah.
So we're all bringing that energy to, again, being pulled. Like, who do we want to be when we're older? We want to break the habits that our parents taught us, you know? So having that community, someone who's like-minded, even one partner. Brittany was my money partner, and we dove in together. It's fantastic that she's also my like life partner. That would have been a very challenging journey to do on my own. So,
and people can do it. Sometimes one partner is the leader and the other person starts to see the change, and then they're like, I think I want to get on that boat.
Yeah.
Like, I can see what's happening here. Let's jump on this.
Yeah.
And like, community can be what you make it. If your romantic partner is not all in the same kind of vision, that is okay. You can find other community. Is it like, hey, maybe I have a girlfriend who wants to do this walking club with me. Hey, I have somebody who wants to join a book club with me. Yeah. Hey, my kids and I want to go start taking weekly hikes together. Yeah. They're like figuring out who's in alignment with the values that you're trying to create, with the habits that you're trying to create with, and building community from that place is a game changer, because you really are the sum of the people you hang out with. And I like to keep the vibration high over here. So
yeah, not everyone can hang.
Not everyone can hang. And that is okay.
Yeah,
it's okay.
That's totally okay. Yeah. Yeah, this question was amazing.
Yes, thank you so much, Lotus. Yeah. I so appreciate you. I'm sending you love and light as you continue on with this journey of your health. You can do this. You are creating new habits. And yeah, if there's any additional ways that we can support you, please let us know. Yeah. We are here for you. Ninja, priestess,
we're here to support. And if you're here and you're listening and you love the content we're doing, you're like, whoa, I would love for them to help me with my question. That's easy. You just want to give us a call at 971-895-4111, or you can write us an email like this lovely person at thekings@honestfeedbackpodcast.com.
Yes, we are so here for you. This has just been a wonderful, wonderful treat. And until we meet again, be honest with each other.
Yeah.